Hello, good morning. It's Wes with Wes Berg Tarot. How you doing? It's Saturday, January 6th here in Minnesota. It's cold AF. It's like 10 below right now. It's awesome. That's where I live. Hey, so I got the deck here ready to go for another installment of Tarot Card of the Day. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Deck's here. Good morning, Amy. Hello. So, our card of the day is Temperance. Yay. Gotta say, this is one of my favorite cards in the deck, if not my favorite card right now. There's always a bit of a fluctuation here, so I love seeing this card. I'm actually writing an article right now I'm going to be posting in my blog, hopefully this weekend, about this card. There's just tons of good stuff here. So, awesome. So, let me just get right down to it. We have here this figure, in the various incarnations of this card, historically and otherwise, from when it's first in its first inception, couple 300, 400 years ago, to like what we see now. The most important concept that we work with this card are these cups. And I'm just going to pull it up here a little closer, and maybe everything will like focus in nicely. If we look at the cups and we look at this water that kind of connects these two cups together, this is the crux of what this card is all about. I'm going to pop it back up here again. So there's this idea with this card that to be temperate is to combine and is to kind of mix and have this whole process. So when this card shows up, there is this whole idea that there are these two things that can happen in our lives, and I'll leave it completely up to you to figure out what that is. It can be applied to just about anything, but there's always this kind of connection, and there's always just this back and forth. There's always just this process of movement in our lives between duality. Hey, Charlotte, good morning. Whatever those things are. And so the important thing is not to necessarily focus on like the ideals, although they are there, but maybe just to pay attention to the movement. Now, is that abstract and kind of weird? Yes, I know. And I'll try and deconstruct this without going too crazy, because I could totally dork out on this card for hours. So let me just back up a little and get a little more simple. So, because I realize I'm going in too deep here. So this card's all about balance, and it's the act of balancing, and it's just that whole idea with the cups and the water in between. There is this act in our lives of constantly being able to kind of evaluate and adjust and kind of reconfigure and rebalance all the elements that we work with in our lives pretty much on a daily basis. So there is this sense of movement in our life that comes from that. And a lot of times people, when they see this card come up, they talk about needing the balance, to kind of find a way to balance elements in your life. I believe Teresa Reed talks about the middle path, which I'm a big fan of as well. This whole idea of being able to kind of find not only just this sense of balance, but moving in that balance to try and walk through life in this really kind of cool, balanced way. When we're balanced and we're centered, we can see the most of what's going on in our world, kind of both bad and good. We have, I think, this really unique position and place and perspective where if we're really in one extreme in life, we only get to see a certain part of it. Same way on the other side. So being in the middle is just this really great place to be, and difficult to achieve because so many things move in our lives, and so we're constantly trying to find a way to find that center, to try and find that balance, and to try and move in that place. It can get pretty zen if you want. So enough about that. I guess I'll just get down to it. If this card resonates with you today as something divinatory, then you will have this opportunity to really explore this whole idea and the process of balancing elements in your life. Is the emphasis so much on like what the causes of what you need to balance are? Maybe not so much. Certain things you just can't help. The need for money to pay your taxes, whatever the thing may be. We don't really have to worry about what it is that are the elements. It's just trying to figure out how to balance those elements in our lives. So you'll have really a great opportunity, if this is divinatory for you, to really explore what that means and how to kind of, if there's anything really significant or relevant in exploring that process. Perhaps you just need a reminder, hey, reevaluate. And beginning of the year, it's kind of a nice thing to put in check, right? You've got all these ambitions, you've got all these ideas maybe about how to kind of move forward in the new year. And now maybe the reality of that is sinking in, like, well, no, you can't do all of those resolutions all at once. It's just not possible. But there is significance in trying to move forward with it. This is just an example, like what can you do now as opposed to trying to do everything all at once. I could talk about this card forever. There's always, of course, lots of context that goes with this. But if that resonates with you today, then really being able to kind of understand and explore what you need to do to find that balance, to try and work with balance. That's the key today. If this ends up being more guidance or meditation, well, there's tons of material there. Just that whole process of trying to find balance, to achieve this conscious understanding about how we work with things. And the more consciously you're able to kind of work with that balancing, to try and work with your need to kind of get that figured out, I think the more you get to kind of see and observe and kind of get more out of when it comes to life. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll be posting something in this in my website, wesbergtarot.com, pretty soon. I've been working on this for a couple weeks, but it's a good card. I love this card. Anyway, hope things are good. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to leave it in the thing here. I also, the website I've got, wesbergtarot.com, always a fun place to go if you want to check out a few more things, all Wes Tarot related. All right, I'll leave it at that. Y'all have a good day. Bye.